A few days after rail links between Katavi, Rukwa and Tabora were restored, some residents have called on Tanzania Rail Corporation TRC to increase the number of cargo wagons in order to address the problem of spending a lot of time at the station waiting for the services.
Transporting of cattle is hard. There are no cars. Most of the times when you come here, there are no train cars. You can stay for up to 1 to 2 months and the cars are still not available. If we don't look after the cattle well, then they deteriorate. So we ask the government to bring us the train cars when we ask for them. The railway authority is well prepared after opening the route for transportation of crops as well as passengers. Citizens should have hope that the authority is well prepared and that we ask all those who had failed to transport their cargo to bring them to the station, as we are well prepared and ready for transportation.
The Mufti of Tanzania, Sheikh Abubakar Zuberi, has received a donation of food items, detergent and edible oil to support 100 households living in hardship and those affected by the coronavirus. The donation was given by various international organizations in collaboration with Nile Trust.
Kwa hiyo msaada ni msaada mkubwa sana na jambo ambalo mnalifanya hili ni jambo kubwa sana.
What you're giving in aid is great. I urge you to keep doing such acts, which is a blessing to others, because this aid is going to the community, to Tanzanians, Muslim and non-Muslim. It is an act of kindness. We will keep working together in building our community.
Uislamu wenyewe umetufundisha kushirikiana na watu wasiokuwa Waislamu.
The police force from Dar es Salaam Special Police Zone has killed 7 robbers during a fire exchange when they invaded a warehouse belonging to GS Group at Mwenge area at about 12 midnight. The commander of Dar es Salaam Special Police Zone, Lazaro Mamposasa, said the criminals were found with machetes, rope and gas cylinders.
Majambazi hayo baada ya kuona wanafuatiliwa na
After the robbers realized that they were being followed by the zone investigating officers, they increased their speed and ran away so they cannot be caught. But the police car sped up, and after it was near, they jumped out of the car armed with traditional weapons and started shooting.
Kutoka kwenye silaha waliokuwa nayo.
The Electoral Commission in Zanzibar said it will give another opportunity to register in the Permanent Voters Register citizens who have not been able to do so. The chairman of the commission, retired Chief Justice of Zanzibar Hamid Mahmoud, has said that those allowed to register must have citizenship IDs and that the exercise will only be for new voters.
Kufanyika kuanzia
Registration and information verification on voters register will be done for 2 days only. This will be available to those eligible.
Vizuri na linatoa fursa zaidi, natoa fursa pana zaidi ya.
This is a good opportunity for the people and political parties to meet their members and encourage them to go and register.
A police evaluation report says that 516 fishermen and trader stalls were gutted by the fire which occurred 2 days ago at Kome Mchangani Island in Buchosha district, Mwanza region. The executive officer of Buhama Ward says that victims of the fire are being sheltered at the mosque and church on the island.
Hali sio nzuri na hata sasa hivi wananchi wanaozunguka eneo hili hawana mahali pa kuishi tena.
At least 3,500 people have no shelter, but I'm asking everyone to be calm as arrangements are being made to build new houses.
Tunaomba serikali tujali, tujenge nyumba za kudumu.
We're asking the government to help us construct durable houses so we can avoid incurring such losses.
The government has abolished mining fees charged on licensed mine owners against government directives, which have also caused various challenges to small miners. The statement was made by the Minister of Minerals, Dr. Biteko, when addressing miners in Nzega District, Tabora region.
Anyone who imposes additional tariffs different to that authorized by the ministry and in the laws concerning minerals will be committing an offense. We are asking ourselves why this regulation is imposed here and not the other side. When you work together, we have some disagreements, but we resolve them and move forward.
Residents of Ilemela District, Mwanza region have started to benefit from a big, safe and clean water project being implemented by the government at a cost of 119 billion shillings, which are funds from the European Union.
We commend the government for bringing water close to us. In the past, we used to wake up very early in the morning and walk up to 5 kilometers to find water, which was very disrupting. Some areas in Kahama have not yet been supplied with water, but the contractor is already on site working on the projects to provide water to the people. When I came into office, water availability was a big problem at 65% less in urban areas and 20% less in rural. But we have made a lot of progress. We had big water projects at that time for rural areas, but the project stopped for a long time. However, since the fifth phase government came into power, Honorable President has made it possible for contractors to resume work. Now some areas are getting water.
The government in Singida region has prohibited issuance of small entrepreneur identification cards to entrepreneurs who engage in charcoal production, as they are a major cause of environment destruction. Singida Regional Commissioner Dr. Rehema Nchimbi gave the directive when handing over this year's small entrepreneur identification cards to leaders of districts in Singida region.
We don't expect to have a trader selling charcoal in Singida. This is the sort of business that destroys the environment. Previously, we lived in fear because those of us with small capital were not able to pay taxes. But we are grateful that now Honorable President has made it possible for us to operate. We will give them space used for auction, but we also have market space available for them to use.
More than 30 parents have been arrested and taken to various primary courts in Tundura District, Ruvuma region, after failing to prevent their children from loitering at night. Now that schools have been closed due to the coronavirus pandemic, the District Commissioner of Ruvuma, Julius Mtatira, said that the police force is continuing with the operation on students loitering around at night in order to prevent pregnancies.
We came to realize that since the schools were closed, parents don't look after their children, so they roam around in the streets, and in turn they perform unethical acts. So up to now, since the schools was closed due to corona, we have 43 parents who have been taken to court in different courts and have been told to pay different fines alongside their children. Most parents in Tunduru fail to understand the importance of education. That is why parents can accept their children to get married before they finish school. We like to blame it on one another. The father will say this is a mother's responsibility, and the mother also says this is supposed to be dealt with the father. But if we both cooperate, then both parents can check on their children every day.
And that's all for the national news. International news is next. And now in international news. Burundi's election commission has declared the governing party's candidate, Evariste Ndayishimiye, as the winner of the country's presidential election last week. The retired army general won 68.72% of the votes, while Agathon Rasa, the main opposition leader, received 24.19%. Since Ndayishimiye has received over 50% of the vote, he has avoided a runoff. Ndayishimiye was picked by the governing CNDD-FDD party to succeed outgoing President Pierre Nkurunziza, whose controversial decision to seek a third term in the last election, that's in 2015, sparked mass unrest, violence, and an opposition boycott. And 72 more patients have tested positive for COVID-19 in Kenya, raising the total number of confirmed cases to 1,286. The new cases, including 70 Kenyans, 1 Somali national and a Ugandan, were confirmed following the testing of 2,711 samples over the last 24 hours.
We have 72 individuals testing positive for the virus from 2,711 samples tested. The cumulative caseload of positives in the country therefore stands at 1,286, while a total sample of samples tested so far stand at 61,971. Of the 72 individuals, 70 of the cases are Kenyans, whereas 1 is of Somali nationality and the other is Ugandan. Of the positive cases, 44 are male, whereas 28 are female. The age range is between 12 years to the youngest and 78 years for the oldest. The positive cases are spread across the following counties. In Nairobi, we have 52 cases. Mombasa, 11, Kiambu, 7, Isiolo, 1, Turkana, 1.
Uganda's military and police forces will escort lorry drivers entering the country following complaints raised by some drivers, particularly from Kenya, on threats made on their lives by citizens of the country. These latest developments come as Uganda confirms coronavirus cases have gone up to 212 after 1,739 samples were tested on Sunday, which are all contacts to previously confirmed positive truck drivers.
This is painful because when Ugandans see us, they call us Corona, saying we carried Corona from Kenya.
And citizens in the Democratic Republic of Congo living near the border with Uganda have called on their government to rehabilitate the bridge, which was destroyed by heavy rains, as it was an important link to entering Uganda.
The road from Shine, Dubai, Tanzania, Nairobi, this is the national route and it is destroyed. Cars cannot pass, motorcycles and even people on foot cannot pass. The government should hurry up.
And that's all for the international news. We're going for a short break and we'll be back with sports.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Position, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
Welcome back. Former Young Africans General Secretary and player Lawrence Mwalusako, who also played for the national team, has died today at Muhimbili National Hospital after being sick for a while.
Sio kwa ufupi, kwa urefu, mimi ndio niliweza kumsajili Mwalusako.
I'm the one who signed Mwalusako during that time. I'm the one who took him from Pan-Africa to Yanga. At that time, I signed him for only 20,000 shillings. But during that time, it was like 100 or 200 millions of now. So I was able to register him. He signed all my papers. Then I went to the publicity secretary, Musa Majungu, who called me brother. And he asked me, brother, where are we? And I told him, I've finalized everything.
The former Players Union UMSOTA is on the last stages of organizing a festival aimed at collecting funds for provision of insurance to retired players.
The festival is scheduled to take place in mid-August, and now we are in the process of searching for funds for the festival, which will help in contribution of insurance to our Veterans Union. The main challenge we have is that most former players have no health insurance.
The Young Africans Uhuru Branch Chair Kaisi Edwin has urged his fellow chairmen of branches all over the country to be ready for a change in the club by participating in all the meetings that will be called by the management.
This is why the chairman announced that this will be a huge meeting for chairmen of branches. He will invite heads of branches from all over the country, because the constitution is not a matter of Dar es Salaam alone. It is a matter of the whole country.
Manchester United's wish to extend Odion Ighalo's loan beyond next Monday is set to be rejected, with Shanghai Greenland Shenhua unwilling to allow the striker to finish the Premier League campaign at Old Trafford.
While the top flight could return in June following its suspension because of the coronavirus crisis, talks between United and Ighalo's parent club have stalled. His deal expires on 31st of May, and United's expectation is that the player will be forced back to Shenhua. The Nigerian was signed on a temporary contract in late January by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and proved a success, scoring 4 goals in United's last 5 matches, including a memorable volley in the 5-0 win at Lask on 12th of March. Yet with China's Super League expected to begin next month, having been delayed from its usual February commencement, Shenhua want the forward to return.
Atletico Madrid forward Joao Felix has suffered a knee injury in training. The club is confirmed as La Liga sides continue preparations for a return to action next month behind closed doors.
From Benfica last year has been a key presence for Diego Simeone's side since his arrival, helping them on both domestic and European fronts. He was instrumental in his side's defeat of Champions League holders Liverpool in March, helping Atletico seal a quarter-final berth in the continent's premier competition. However, he may now miss the season restart after picking up a low-grade medial collateral ligament sprain in his left knee during training, as players step up their work ahead of the hoped-for completion of the current campaign.
Financial factors may be driving Lautaro Martinez towards Barcelona, claims Ruben Sosa, with the Inter forward told that he is already part of a great team.
The old has offered no indication that he will be pushing for a switch to Camp Nou, but others are doing that for him. Speculation regarding a big money move to Spain continues to build for a hot prospect who only arrived in European football from Racing in 2018. Rapid progress has been made by the Argentina international since then, to the point that he is now wanted alongside fellow countryman Lionel Messi in Catalonia. It is easy to see why Barca would want to buy into such potential, as they seek a long-term successor to Luis Suarez in the number 9 role, but Sosa fears individual ambition may not be the biggest driver.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night.